everyone to CS Teaching Talks. My name is Emily Tomfort. I use she, her pronouns. I am a professor of computer sciences at Reach University.
Hi, everybody. My name is Monica McGill. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm from the Institute for Advancing Computing Education, formerly known as csedresearch.org.
Well, it's wonderful to be here, Monica. I'm so excited that we're able to finally go in and record this first podcast. It's been a long time in the making.
Yes, it has been over a year now.
Yeah. Well, so this is our first podcast episode of CS Teaching Talks. Thank you all for being here. We're going to be diving deep into the latest research in the field of computer science education over the next few episodes. In each one, we're going to choose a specific theme and contextualize it within a recent research paper. Our discussions include teachers and curriculum developers and PD providers, and sometimes even the authors of the paper. And in each one, we're going to end up with the big questions to consider and practical tips that you can immediately implement into your classroom. This is our first podcast today that's going to be the intro to our series. I am so glad to be here with Monica, and I want to turn it over to you. First of all, there's so much to do on the path to CS for all, on the path to equitable and universal CS education. Why are we focusing on research?
So one of our three goals at csedresearch.org is to center research on K-12 CS education practitioners. And this does not imply a one-way street. Often in the past, that research is going to be created in some kind of lab somewhere, and then teachers are told what to do best, without researchers really understanding the context of teachers. So we really want to center our research on the needs of K-12 educators, including conducting research that meets their needs and the needs of their unique classrooms and students. Sharing research with teachers provides a window into recent research findings, as well as discussion groups themselves enable teachers to reflect on the findings within their context of their classrooms and who their students are. And then they can choose how they want to use those findings, or maybe not, because it isn't appropriate for their classrooms. Also, we understand that K-12 classrooms are the first step for the next generation of coders, designers, and innovators. So our goal is to really empower you with the tools and knowledge to prepare your students for success in the ever-changing world and ever-evolving world of computer science. Emily, tell us about how these podcasts came to be.
Well, this is a long time in the making. We only really started to think about podcasts because we got so many requests for people who were unable to join our weekly discussion group and asking if we'd recorded the session. We have so many people across the world over the last, 5 years. We've been doing the discussion group in some form or another. So many people want to participate but don't have the time or have conflicts or, don't feel like they would be included in a discussion like this. So making the podcast and really kind of encapsulating what are the takeaways from each research paper seemed to be the natural progression.
Can you talk a little bit more about the discussion groups and who can join?
Yeah, so the discussion group really grew out of my favorite part of grad school. So I had done my PhD in artificial intelligence, and I loved when a community of people, especially a diverse community coming from a lot of different perspectives, both disciplinary and personal and, work-wise, came together to really dissect a paper or a finding or a theory within each of their contexts. And I think it made the research really come to life for me. And that was just, in the context of AI. But as I got into education and I was working, at administration in county offices, in school districts, I brought that back. I created a small local group. We met in person, and just every week we would choose a paper and sit at a cafe and talk about it. And as that grew over the years and, the pandemic pushed us online, we started finding opportunities to include more people, to do it more often, to widen the scope of our papers. And so now it exists in the form of a fully open and everyone is welcome online discussion group. We meet twice a week, Tuesday, 5 to 6 Pacific time, Friday, 4 to 5 Pacific time, and everyone is welcome to come. That's whether you're anywhere around the world, whether you've read the paper or not, whether you consider yourself a computer science education person or not. All you need is interest and a willingness to ask questions, because really that's all we do. We ask questions of the paper, we interrogate the ideas and our practice, and we don't always come to conclusions, but I think there's value in the questioning.
Great, thanks. And do you have to read the paper in advance?
No, it is recommended if you wish to come absolutely prepared to look at the paper, but there's always people there who have not. And we spend the first few minutes summarizing the paper and its findings to bring everyone up to speed. I know reading an academic research paper is not everyone's cup of tea. It's not what everyone prioritizes their time on. So anyone who wants to come to the reading group, we will include you and we will incorporate your ideas, whether or not you've read the paper.
Great, thanks. And why podcasts?
I love a podcast because of how it opens up multitasking, really. Teachers are busy. And if our goal is to really get the most valuable conclusions from research into the hands of teachers, we've got to do that in multiple ways. So coming to the discussion group is one of them. But the podcast is kind of a condensed version of it, like the greatest hits, the bits where we take out the things that weren't conclusive or that were off topic. So it's like it's the best use of your time. And you can do it while running or washing the dishes or knitting or completing other tasks.
Great. So tell us a little bit about these first few podcasts.
The first few podcasts are great. We've specifically focused on subject areas and frameworks and formalisms that are specific to K-5 teaching. So we talk about levels of abstraction and how teachers can best be situated to communicate about computing. We talk about centering minoritized students, making learning consequential. We go into specific practices like Parsons problems, and talk about like how different pedagogical strategies can support the diversity of learners we have in our room. And I think it's really great because we get in people who are, current teachers, former teachers, administrators, PD providers, curriculum developers, researchers, and kind of everyone from the community has a different perspective on it. And I like that we really get to chew on that and come out with, whether or not the paper was useful, what we can take away from it.
Great, thank you. And also a huge thank you to you for all the work you've done since 2018 on this. This is really incredible as a volunteer just to come forward and do these things to help support the community. So 5 years definitely reflects a lot of time and dedication, and thank you for that. By the way, these podcasts and the teacher practice briefs come from a partnership between Reach University and csedresearch.org. The podcasts and briefs are being piloted by support from two grants, a special projects grant from the Association of Computing Machinery's Special Interest Group for Computer Science Education, also known as AACM SIGC, and from Amazon Future Engineer.
Well, I'm excited for everyone to dive into the podcasts. Whether you are a seasoned computer science educator or you're just beginning your journey, we are here at CS Teaching Talks to support you. So our commitment is to nurture a strong community of passionate educators who can learn from the latest research and grow together. So that means that everyone has something to learn. So whether you have time to read the paper, attend the discussion, listen to the podcast, or just glance over a practice brief, everyone has something they can learn from. I guess teaching habits die hard because that's us providing multiple means of engagement. So we'd love to hear from you. Any questions or feedback or ideas for future themes or how you integrate research into your practice, reach out to us. We're at comms@csedresearch.org. That's comms with 2 M's, and we'd love to hear from you.
Great, thank you.
Yep. And a big thank you to our wonderful research apprentice, Jordan Williamson. And to you, Monica, our leader and founder, for making this possible. And to all of you, the CS Ed community, our dedicated, always curious teachers, educators, practitioners. I'm so excited to get started. So let's go learn something.